Let's go! Rivalry volleyball here on this Wednesday inside Cameron Indoor Stadium. NC State, a quick 30-minute bus trip over to Duke. Wolfpack have won the last two against the Blue Devils, but tonight is a new night, and we're excited to be with you for it. Courtney Lyle alongside indoor national champion, beach Olympic bronze medalist Holly McPeak, and you look at both of these squads, and they've both had mixed lineups throughout the season due to some injuries.
Well, it's been really challenging. They've lost key players in key positions and leadership roles, but they've had the opportunity for young players to step up.
And I know we're excited to see some of that youth step up. For NC State, Ava Brizard, she does not come off the court, Holly.
She is something special. She's the two-time Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year. She's already been the freshman of the conference twice this season, and she is bringing it 6 rotations. She is their go-to player and carries a heavy role as just a freshman.
Yeah, it's impressive too because she only arrived at the program in August, and here she is. But hey, Duke has some youth too. Kerry Keefe, a career day on Sunday against Clemson.
Kerry Keefe in the lineup is a huge addition for Duke. Kerry won a national championship with our high school team last year. She knows how to win, and she is instant offense. 21 kills in her debut match. That's pretty darn impressive.
Especially coming off of an injury, she has worked her way into this lineup to fill some key needs for Jolene Nagel, who is in her 24th season as Duke's head coach. And look, they've had to weather some tough storms when it comes to personnel, but she absolutely loves the group that she has here in Duke. Over on the NC State bench, Lucas Slave in his 3rd season leading the NC State Wolfpack. They have 11 new players, so they're trying to find that perfect combination on the floor.
And they've been, as he said, consistent at being inconsistent. At times they're great, but at times they're not so great. So they need to bring that level up and try and improve those numbers. Offensively hitting under 200 as a team.
Both of these teams played 5-set matches on Sunday, so a quick turnaround after a long match. Duke was able to win that 5-setter against Clemson. Meanwhile, NC State fell in 5 sets to Boston College. Duke will serve first. It'll be Rachel Richardson stepping back to get this thing started. Kristen McDaniel setting up the outside in Vanya Bukalic. And Devon Chang with a solid connection to Riley Cadle coming off 1 foot.
And both teams want to run their middles as often as possible, try and balance out their offense to the pins. That's a great start for Duke in transition.
Devon Chang, you see her there, the setter for Duke, the transfer from UCLA. Kristen McDaniel this time trying to go to the right side, but the timing a bit off. Bukalic, swing is high and wide.
Right now, Duke is picking on Ava Brizard, the freshman who carries that big load for NC State. She has gotten most of the serves to start this match.
Brizard, number 7 in the black jersey. They go at her again. Yeah, and the timing's just not there right now for NC State. Meanwhile, Gracie Johnson gets a big swing down the line and the kill.
When we talked to the head coach for NC State, he talked about, hey, even when we're in system, that's when we struggle the most. And we saw that was a great pass, and just the timing and communication on the offense struggling.
Back again at Ava Brizard, and she's struggling to pass right now too. Where does Devon Chang go? Right in front of her to Riley Cadle. Chang has to hustle, digs it out of the scorer's table. McDaniel sets up Jada Allen in the middle, and she is stuffed.
Gracie Johnson, the left side blocker for Duke, came and helped in the middle, knowing that's where they wanted to go. Double block for Duke.
And NC State is going to have to call a timeout. It has been all Duke early in this first set here at Cameron Indoor. 4 straight points for Duke. They've been going after number 7 in black for NC State. That is Ava Brizard. She is a freshman who's carrying just a huge load for the Wolfpack.
And if you're Duke, they want to wear her down, make her carry more of a load. Every serve has gone to her to start this match.
And they go back to her again. And the swing and the kill from Vanya Bukalic out of Serbia.
Last year she played for Ohio State, graduated from there, and now is taking her last year here at NC State. brings some big size as a blocker on the right side.
That's what you want, though, if you're NC State. Coming out of that timeout, regroup, side out, and get your first serve. And that swing is going to be long by Gracie Johnson.
Gracie Johnson, knowing she's got a big block in front, tried to hit that flat, just didn't find any hands first.
Martina Leoniak, member of the Polish national team, behind the service line for the Wolfpack. Devon Chang running Cadel off 1 foot again. Johnson straight down the block.
Bukalic, number 13 in black, way over the net, and that's the strength of her game, defense. Look at her hands and the press over the net for the NC State point.
So here come the Wolfpack after giving up 4 straight points for Duke, and now they've tied it.
Bringing it from the service line, so important to come aggressive, get the other team out of system, especially after a slow start.
I think Duke is trying to move Rachel Richardson out of the passing. That was in, so off of the NC State. Or
that was in.
It was in, yes.
Yep, off of the block. So Duke a little bit out of sorts in serve receive. They need to pick up their pass. They have not had an in-system set the last 2 plays.
5 straight points for the Wolfpack. It'll be an out-of-system swing for Richardson. Bukalic. Ava Brizard in the front row. McDaniel back to Brizard. Back row attack from Richardson. Dropped it in the corner.
Love the Duke hitters communicating with their setter, telling Devon Chang what they wanted in transition, and Rachel Richardson ends it with that pipe set.
You know, talking to Jolene Nagel, it sounds like Devon Chang has made such an impact transferring in from UCLA, but that experience is huge.
Of course, I mean, you've played with the best in the country, you've run an offense, you've been there, done that. So she brings leadership for sure on the court. In consistent location, she's been really surprised with her blocking ability. She's a very good blocker at the net.
Holly, she had 7 blocks against Clemson.
I know, amazing.
Was your little setter heart so happy?
It does.
This one's tight. Georgia Stavrounitas will get the kill.
Duke definitely focused on getting their middles involved, mostly behind the setter.
Interesting, too, because both middles in that 5-set match against Clemson, they hit under 100 in that match. And your middles are naturally usually going to hit for a very high percentage.
Yeah, it could have been decision-making, it could have been location, it could have been routes, we don't know.
Bukalic. Gracie Johnson to the back corner.
You want to establish your middle so it holds the defenders in the middle so you can create gaps. Here you see this ball pushed out wide and the middle blocks late, and Gracie can go down that line for the Duke kill.
It'll be a bump set to Ava Brizard. There's some traffic there when Kristen McDaniel was trying to set that ball. Bukalic. Nikki Underwood with the bump set for Duke. And the swing is long, no touch called, but Luka Slabe is going to grab the green challenge card. He immediately stood up.
Good defense on both sides of the net. Both teams looking for a way to end that rally.
So they're going to challenge that there was a touch on this ball. The original call was no touch. Each team gets 2 challenges. If you're correct in your challenge, if it goes your way, you get to keep that challenge.
Watch this ball go to the right pin hitter. Looks like it got the left hand of Georgia Stavrounitas in the middle. Saw some finger movement.
think that left hand, like you said, Holly, got just a little bit of that ball. Already we have seen these teams go back and forth. I remember Duke came out and scored 4 straight points, and I feel like after NC State called that timeout, they settled down a little bit.
They settled down, and then they got aggressive from the service line, and that really got Duke out of system, and they were able to score.
So they reversed the call. There was a touch. NC State is going to keep their challenge, so they'll still have 2 left and get the point. NC State's gotten tougher on the serve, but the hitting percentage under 100. They're at 0.59 right now. This is Naomi Cabello. NC State runs a 6-2 offense, meaning there's always 3 attackers in the front row. Ava Broussard, get it!
Love it. We talk about her offensive numbers, but that time, really disciplined block move. Left hand, turn it back into the court. Finally slowing down that middle attack from Duke.
Gracie Johnson tooling the block.
Good pass for Duke. They're able to go fast out to the pin.
That was Rachel Richardson on that pass, and now she rotates up to the front row. Tied up at 8, going to 25. Cabello on the move, the long bump set to Broussard. Chang backside to Kerry, Keefe, and finds the hardwood.
Devon Chang doing such a nice job for Duke, spreading the offense. She had her middle attacker running to 3 on the left side of the court, and that isolates Kerry Keefe and the big lefty on the right pin.
It is hard to believe that Kerry Keefe, number 11 in white for Duke, did not play in the first 8 games, and now she has come on very strong. Rachel Richardson. Priscilla Hernandez setting up Broussard. Richardson going to get it.
Great footwork there by Duke to score that point. Rachel Richardson, 3 in white, got her feet there. Ball was set inside, but aggressive swing in transition pays off.
Richardson coming off a 10-kill performance against Clemson. Also had 15 digs. That was her second double-double of the season, as there's a service error by Duke. Kerry Keefe using the block.
Duke's just locking in on that first contact, and Devon Chang has lots of options open. Kerry Keefe's obviously a favorite option when she's in the game.
It's a couple nice passes from Rachel Richardson.
Really nice. She's nailing it.
Cabello pushing it to the outside, Leoniak. And it's a point for the Wolfpack.
Such an important tool to have in your tool belt, right? Being able to use those hands out of bounds when you've got a well-formed block in front of you.
And Martina Leoniak, number 14 in black for NC State. So much international experience. She's been playing with the Polish national team. Had 0 days off in the summer, so they had to shut her down at the beginning of the season. Chang going back to Richardson with the tip this time. And that's going to be 4 contacts on NC State.
NC State not getting a swing after a dig. That's an unfortunate play for them. You always want to get a swing, even if it's off the net or from the back row after a dig.
Yeah, going back to Leoniak, you see her there, number 14 in that black jersey. Spent for her first season at Hawaii and then is transferred over to NC State. You could tell, I mean, obviously Lucas Slabe has a lot of international coaching and playing experience too, so he values her going over and playing with her national team.
Definitely, you're not going to get that kind of experience anywhere else. International at the highest level, and I love the fact that he gave her a rest after a long summer.
Yeah, because it's a long season. I feel like October is always tough too. You like hit that wall in the season and you still have 2 months to go.
And you're in midterms and everything else with school, and the body starts to get tired.
Gracie Johnson out of the back row for Duke. Richardson's turn and a block, a little bit smarter, Amanda Rice.
Seems like Duke wants to go really fast out to Rachel Richardson, and that ball just died a little inside. She needs it all the way out to the pin so she can attack around that block.
Kristen McDaniel back into set for NC State. They use 2 setters, always in the back row. Bukalic. Reaction from Devon Chang for her to get it over to Richardson.
Just a bump, set, scoop, and then Rachel Richardson, quick, aggressive swing into the angle. I love this reaction. Look at overhand dig, and then Rachel Richardson, deep angle. Love the corner swing in transition, always open. That ball set a little bit low in the middle. NC State had the right pass. They wanted to run that middle. Timeout, NC State.
So NC State will use their second and final timeout of the opening set. You may notice some green ribbons on the floor with some of the players. This is a very special match. Duke is dedicating this match to the Morgan's Message campaign. This is an organization that strives to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health, specifically among student athletes, and it's in honor of the former Duke lacrosse player Morgan Rogers. This Duke team works with a sports psychologist like a lot of teams do. So does NC State, but Greg Dale is the sports psychologist for Duke, and he Zooms with them every 2 weeks. He meets with the players individually. I just love that now it is open. It's okay to talk about your mental health.
It's so important, and there are now over 100 ambassadors in high school and collegiate levels across different sports talking about it.
Yeah, big piece of that. NC State, Lucas Slabe was telling us too, they work with a sports psychologist. They have those individual sessions. It's a place for the women to go and be able to talk to someone, a third party, if you will. So it's so important. You see it across all sports now. You
do, and not only are they athletes, they're student athletes, so they have the stress of being a collegiate student as well.
Yes. Well, this first set started off with Duke scoring 4 straight points. NC State was able to answer, but hitting percentage-wise, the Wolfpack struggling right now. 4 kills and 4 attacking errors. What have you noticed about their offense, Holly?
Well, Duke is really doing a good job running everybody, using all their hitters. NC State just seems out of rhythm offensively. They have not been able to get anything going. Ava Brizard, who we've talked about, is the hot hitter. She hasn't got much going. So they just need to find their rhythm as a unit.
Yeah, Ava Brizard, 1 kill, but she swung 7 times. Jada Allen blocked in the middle by Cadle. And then Cadle is going to get a chance to swing down the line. Wanted a touch, did not get the call.
Duke players looking at the coach saying that NC State was in the net on that block, but there's no challenge.
Jolene Nagel not running to the green college challenge card just yet. Johnson came to get it.
Really impressive. She had a huge block, 6'6", number 13 in black in front of her, but she had a seam to work with. Goes right between the 2 blockers.
Gracie Johnson second in the conference when it comes to kills per set, over 4.2. Leoniak takes a swing out of the back row, out of system. They go back to Johnson. Free ball back to Duke. Sydney Yap is there. Into the block, Bukalic.
NC State made a nice read, knowing that they wanted to go out to the pin. Devon Chang could have run her back row on this. Rachel Richards had that middle open to herself. Good, well-formed block there, no seams.
NC State has 5 blocks already.
good start defensively, but offensively, they need to find ways to put the ball away and score.
Yeah, that has been a struggle. They're hitting 0 right now with 4 kills, but 4 attacking errors. Duke's not hitting great either. They're at 156. You know, we've seen Gracie Johnson get a lot of swings. Hard to believe, you know, she was out for 2 weeks, couldn't even practice. What a loss for them, because we've already seen early in this match how much they go to her. Savranitas in the middle. Brizard. Gracie through the block.
Duke really doing a solid job being mindful of their first contact in Devon Chang. Loved to see her go a little bit more to the middle, but she is very confident in her left side pins.
Devon Chang from a volleyball family. Her sister Peyton, you may have heard of Peyton Chang. She played at Stanford and then at Northwestern. Ooh, that just ricochets off of Nikki Underwood.
Lots of heat from number 7 in black, Ava Brizard. She was one-on-one with Kerry Keefe. Middle blocker went the other way. Love the hustle by the Duke players.
Second kill for Brizard. There's your middle attack, Holly.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, if you're going to pass the ball well, let's get your middles going for high percentages, and that gets them in a good rhythm on both sides of the ball.
Georgia Stavronidis out of Cyprus. She's a member of the Cyprus national team. She's played at opposite some when Kerry Keefe was out, and she's back in the middle, though.
Boom, owning the net. That's so important. Anything that comes close, you go up and get it. I like this play. No hesitation, good eye work, following the ball to the net and throwing it down.
Bomb serve a little too much from Gracie Johnson. Kerry Keefe at the opposite.
Duke winning the serve and pass game so far. They started out a little bit slow after scoring the first 4 points, but have really settled in.
And Nikki Underwood doing a nice job right now, and there's going to be a substitution. Is this for passing? We see Ava Brizard come out.
Yeah, Lucas Slab wants to give her a little break. She carries that big load and going to give her a little bit of a break in the back row.
They go right at Hannah Wander, who just checked in.
That ball went off the block and hit the antenna.
Lily Cropper's turn behind the service line. Leoniak, that attack was touch. Point Wolfpack.
Good ball going deep to that corner with a touch. NC State trying to get some offense going.
It's the first to 25 here in the opening set. That was in. I thought it hit the line.
That ball looked like it was going long and hit. Good service pressure from NC State. Look at the ball just drop out, hits the line. Perfect serve.
NC State has had some good service runs to keep them in this, when the hitting has not been there. Look at Kerry Keefe.
And I love the location of that set by Devon Chang. Kerry Keefe being that lefty, she doesn't want it all the way out. Perfect location for the kill.
Kerry Keefe rotates out with 4 kills, hitting, 800.
Pretty good for a freshman.
Yeah, not bad. And that's a service error from Sydney Yap.
I think as the season progresses for Duke, we will see Kerry Keefe out of the back row. She can pass the ball, she can play defense, and she's an offensive weapon, which always helps to have in the back row as an outlet.
Yeah, they've been finding that balance of bringing her back from that injury, getting her acquainted with college volleyball, and then trying not to put too much on her plate. But I did talk to her today. She does want to play in the back row.
She should.
Of course she does.
Of course. She strives for excellence. She looks just like her mother.
Yeah.
The former Kristen Klein, now Kristen Keefe, who played volleyball at Stanford. I actually played club volleyball with her mother, one of the best of all time, a Stanford outside hitter.
Richardson dug up down the line by Kristen McDaniel, and that's going to be a double contact on Leoniak.
NC State is digging some balls. They need to get a swing out of that. Somebody needs to step up and put up a hittable ball.
Cabello with the bump set. Dug up by Underwood. Gracie Johnson going off speed, just a little tip. Sends NC State scampering. Devon Chang!
Duke is really doing a nice job attacking the middle of the court. When the hitter doesn't have an opening, she throws it down in the middle, and it gets NC State out of sorts, and then Devon Chang does the same thing right in the middle.
Set point Duke.
Duke's had 3 or 4 overpasses, and those are easy points. If you're NC State, you want to pull that pass off the net and give your setter a chance to run the offense.
3 straight points for the Blue Devils. Jada Allen, the swing from the middle. Johnson off the block and in. Still set point Duke.
Hitter coverage a little bit late for Duke. You want to make sure you're well formed around where the hitter's attacking. Just came back pretty quick.
Ava Brizard comes back in for NC State. Leoniak behind the service line. Cadle was looking for some space in the front corner. Brizard, she got a piece of the block.
Ava Brizard, kind of out of system, but able to go off the outside of Devon Chang's hands. NC State making a charge.
3rd set point for Duke.
How about that serve?
Wow.
Leoniak attacking from the back line. Really nice pace on that serve.
Yeah, Duke's going to call a timeout here. This is going to be their 4th set point. Up 24-23, you do have to win by 2. Well, Sunday best this week. What a field hockey doubleheader we have for you. Number 19, Rutgers, taking on number 12, Syracuse. So that's at noon Eastern. And then off to Chapel Hill for number 1, North Carolina, hosting 9th-ranked St. Joseph's, both right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. The pressure from the service line, NC State has been tough. They've scored 3 straight points now.
Well, we've seen flashes of brilliance, just too much inconsistency with their offense and setting in transition after a dig. Good flat serve right in the seam between 2 passers. Climb back just down by 1.
And that was Martina Leoniak with the serve. She's the one that has been playing with the Polish national team. We were talking about she had to have a break coming back into this season because she had 0 days off. But, you know, they're working on so many different things with her. She's a young player, but this international experience was just so important.
It wasn't, and Coach talked about her nasty serve. And
yeah.
At the end of a match, that's who you want on the back line. She's a perfectionist, sometimes a little bit hard on herself, but getting better all the time.
They've been working on her footwork, too, on the outside. They say it's a little inconsistent.
Yeah, she broad jumps a lot, and you want to get your feet to the ball and make sure you're at your highest point of contact instead of on the way down.
We'll see if she can keep this run going. Duke is about to have their 4th set point. And remember, you do have to win by 2.
Duke has 2 hitters. Setter is in the front row.
Going after Richardson again. That was a nice pass. And Riley Cadle. There it is. Duke takes set number 1. We were telling you about NC State and how they run a 6-2 offense. We're going to explain that when we come back.
A lot of teams across the country are talking about the 6-2 offense. Coaches looking to get more offense, more kills. Here you see number 9 in red. She is the back row setter. She will move across the back row, and then she's got 3 front row attackers. So she will go right back, middle back, left back, and then her counterpart, the other setter, number 4 in red, will come in and she will do the same thing. Right back, middle back, left back. You see a stack of 3 players in the front row on that far left. So it always gives you 3 players in the front row. And of course, you also have that back row attack. So more opportunities to score. And that's what coaches are looking for. How do we get points on the scoreboard?
Yeah, and that's what Luca Slave told us about why NC State is running that 6-2 offense with McDaniel and Cabello, because they want those offensive options up front.
You need to score. I talked to the former USA coach, Mick Haley, about 2 weeks ago, and he said, the reason why people are running it, they need points to score. Kills, aces, blocks, those are ways that you score. And this is an offense that helps provide that.
The key is, though, I mean, it's got to be hard, Holly. You're having 2 different setters come on the floor. Like, I know as a setter, it's not your favorite.
No, I agree. I love setting a 5-1. I was in rhythm with all my players. I feel like NC State is a little out of rhythm. I'd like to send them all dancing together. Yeah. Like, even if it's line dancing, just to get in a rhythm together. And that's the thing. When you have a new setter who runs a different tempo set, it's hard to find that rhythm as a team.
Yeah, and they were talking to us, Coach Slave was, about the difference between Kristen McDaniel, number 5 in black, and then her counterpart, Naomi Cabello. Cabello really good at the net, but Kristen McDaniel runs a bit of a faster offense.
Yeah, 2 totally different setters, and I feel like that can affect the rhythm of the game. A lot of coaches say, hey, we want to use 2 setters if they're similar in terms of level and delivery. So NC State's working on it and trying to find their rhythm.
That rhythm was a problem for NC State offensively. 108 in that first set as their hitting percentage. Their serve did get them back in it, and it took 4 set points for Duke to close it out. Off of the block, Martina Leoniak.
Much better start for NC State, able to get that first ball. They went down 0-4 in that first set.
Gracie Johnson.
That ball was blocked and came back and got Gracie Johnson on the rebound. But credit Nikki Underwood, the libero for Duke, with that perfect pass.
They have set Gracie Johnson a lot. No surprise, because she is one of their outside hitters, but she's hitting negative right now.
Yeah, I mean, spread the offense and then come back to her. Give her a little break.
Yeah, Duke has gotten some good passes. If they do, use that middle. Bukalic. Tipped over by Allen. Johnson a little further in the court. And a missed set by Kristen McDaniel. Cadle attacking error, point Wolfpack.
Cadle, yeah, trying to go high off the hands and tool it out of bounds, but didn't find any hands first.
It's kind of the opposite of what we saw in set 1. It was Duke jumping out to a 4-0 lead. Now NC State here in set 2 up 3-0.
Okay, NC State's serving the ball, but Duke's passing to perfect ball. That's when you want to use your high percentage hitters and run your middle. 6, perfect time. But this is a one-on-one block on the outside, and again, too much to Gracie Johnson, in my opinion.
Vanya Bukalic with a monster block. She averages over a block a set. Richardson out of the back row through a triple block.
NC State was late on their press. They had a pretty well-formed three-person block, but they were late pressing their hands over the net, and Richardson able to score.
It's Richardson's 5th kill, and it gets Duke on the board here in set number 2. They won the first set 25-23. Stavronidis with the tip. McDaniel outside to Bukovic, this time from the left pin.
Right now, Duke has Devon Chang in the front row. This would be a great opportunity to have Kerry, Keefe in the back row attacking C's and D's, and that would really spread the offense.
Yeah, but she's only been playing in the front row, as we've seen. We talked to you about how she's come back from that injury. They're trying to slowly work her in. To the floor.
Good attack on the open net. Duke late to block that ball. NC State really aggressive, both defensively and from the service line to start.
And it's going to cause Duke to call a timeout early in set 2. A whole new set for NC State. They're hitting 375 here in set 2 after struggling offensively in set 1.
Yeah, big turnaround. They got it together somehow between sets. Coach got them fired up and motivated.
Martina Leoniak behind the service line. She has been a stud. Oh, they're going to say out. And Luka Slabe is calling for a challenge. Holly, you thought that was in?
I do. I thought it was in, and he is challenging. I thought that was a good call.
We're basically hovering above the court.
We basically are. We are levitating up here, and I had a really good view of that. I can see very well far away, not so much in front of my face, but perfect there.
This is great for you then.
Yes, it works great.
But I mean, I'm not surprised if they go back and look at this and it's an ace, because Leoniak's serve has been brutal.
This would be her 3rd ace.
Yeah.
She's been able to get Duke out of system. What's really good about her serve is she's serving to space, right? Locations where the passers have to move.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Wasn't even close, and the weird thing about it was in front of the linesman. Did they not get it on camera? They're motioning for a replay, possibly?
Yeah. Coach Slabe just gave the 2 thumbs up, which is the replay signal.
I mean, if we have the challenge system.
We do, and we're being told it's not our cameras, so what you just saw, maybe they can't see.
So it is a replay?
Because we're being told the replay system cut out, so they did not have a look at it. And they're not seeing what our cameras are seeing. I haven't seen a signal to replay the point. So I think you have to go with the original call then, if there's no video in order to look at. We're trying to get confirmation whether NC State will be charged with a challenge if they can't go look at it.
They can't be charged.
Yeah,
So the serve was out, point Duke, with no replay. We're going back in the ages.
Officially it was out. Unofficially.
Yes, unofficially.
Yeah, I would imagine that the challenge does not count.
Ava Brizard, 7 in black, heating up for NC State.
No attacking errors, too, for Ava.
But she's had a hard time putting the ball away.
Yes. Yeah, 15 swings. I feel like she's digging herself out, though, because Duke was targeting her with their serve early, and she was struggling to pass, but I don't think she's let it affect her.
No, and I think coach giving her a break in the back row, kind of get her mind right, come back in. Let's see if Duke goes back at her now that she's in the passing rotation.
Grazing the tape, Hernandez steps in. McDaniel back to Broussard. Chang will try the back row attack with Gracie Johnson. Bukolich off the block. Kerry Keefe tips over the block, and it's so impressive how she comes in and has an instant impact.
Instant offense. Kerry Keefe, number 11 in white for Duke. Good pickup of that tip in the middle by Rachel Richardson, and then Kerry Keefe's established her power so the defense is on their heels, and the short finesse shot drops.
Oh, and then the ace! Just filth right there from Gracie.
Attacking the seam between the two passers, making the passers moves. Little communication breakdown. That's between Broussard and Leoniak, and the setter's running in from that same area.
Out of system swing from the back row. Oh, Devon Chang with one hand sets her middle. Stavrounitas.
Tight pass, and when Chang can come out of the back row and save that tight pass, your team's going to score on a high percentage set.
So NC State is going to call timeout. Duke has scored 4 straight.
And using the middle, that's the high percentage. That's when you get to see 3s and 400 attack games from your middles.
Well, right now, talking about the opposite, Kerry Keefe, number 11 in white for Duke. She has 5 kills, hitting .833. And you mentioned her athletic family, Holly. I mean, wow, it's impressive. And I'm kind of surprised to see her over on the East Coast. But she said Duke had this sense of excellence around it. She couldn't pass up the opportunity, but has such a family of athletes. And you mentioned you played with her mom in club.
I did. In high school, her name was Kristen Klein, and she was one of the best ever and an All-American at Stanford.
Yeah, her dad, Adam, played on the Stanford basketball team, and then her sisters also played volleyball at Stanford, and her brother is currently at Stanford with the men's basketball team.
Yeah, she decided to take her own route and is loving it out here at Duke.
I asked her, I said, watching you, it seems like you're having a lot of fun. She goes, I'm having a blast. And I said, what was it like coming back from the injury? Where, remember, this is only her 4th week being back with the team and playing. And she said, it's made it even more sweet because I know what it's like to sit out and watch. And now to be out there, it just feels great.
Yeah, anytime you can feel that gratitude and miss a sport that you love, you come back and you embrace it.
She is, unfortunately, that's been kind of a common theme for Duke, players missing matches because they've had so many injuries. In fact, last Friday against Georgia Tech, they were without 3 outside hitters. See one of their middles, Lizzie Fleming, that's a huge loss right now.
And both those players that are out bring lots of experience and leadership.
I talked to Lizzie today. She's hoping to be back in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Such a, huge leadership. And then they lost their libero, Madison Bryant, the transfer from Tennessee. She's done for the season.
But Duke looking at it like an opportunity, right, for young players to step up and get experience. Nikki Underwood at the libero position is doing a really nice job.
It'll be an ace for NC State and Naomi Cabello.
I feel like NC State has really stepped up their service game, putting a lot of pressure on Duke.
It was one of the main things that kept them in that first set, their service pressure. Kerry Keefe off the block into the antenna.
And you see the confidence that Devon Chang has in Kerry Keefe. She is a proven scorer. Doesn't matter if she's out of system, she will take good swings and manage her offense.
Broussard, some power using the block.
And that's one of the things, being a freshman, you learn how to work around a big block. You have never seen a block that big or defense that good behind the block, so you have to find other ways to score and also hit with more range.
Yeah, maybe some of the things you did in high school and club you can't do on the college stage.
Absolutely.
Service error gives that point to Duke, and Sydney Yap will rotate in. Just coming off the hands of Priscilla Hernandez. Funny.
Well, it was deep and flat, and Hernandez could not get under it and lift it forward. If you put enough pace on your serve, it's very disruptive. That doesn't give you enough time to react.
Miscommunication on the set there. Ends up in a free ball for NC State, and it's Brizard out of the back row, and it's long.
Ava Brizard in the middle of that play covered her hitter on the right side, ran all the way back to the middle, and then attacked out of the back row.
3 straight points for Duke to tie it up. Service error by Sydney Yap. Cadle off of 1 foot. Chang going to the other pin with Rachel Richardson.
Best swing of the day so far for Rachel Richardson. Lots of heat and pace on that one.
Amanda Rice. Here comes Gracie Johnson. She has been set a lot, hitting negative. She's gonna show her block up though. Here I am.
When your offense isn't working, you have to do the other things. Passing, blocking, digging. That one, really nice press by Gracie Johnson, number 7. She gets way over the net for Duke.
Her second block tonight. Into the net, dug out of the net, sent over by Underwood. Wow, Devon Chang and Cadle with a nice couple of block touches. Oh, what a shot into the back corner, Martina Leoniak.
3 straight blocks for Duke, and then Leoniak on her 4th swing out to the pin finally goes wide down the line for the kill.
Leoniak 5 kills, no hitting errors, hitting .333. NC State was hitting in the 300s in this set, but it's dropped to 192. And there is the block that has been so tough for NC State tonight. 18 blocks now, thanks to Bukalic.
Bukalic is on fire, and she is making her presence felt on that right pin. Even though she's by herself, you can see Gracie Johnson has a lot of line to work with. If they are letting her know and communicating that to her, she can attack more down the line.
Cadle going behind Devon Chang.
And that's taking pressure off Gracie Johnson on that left pin the more you run that middle.
Bukalic.
That time, Gracie Johnson attacking the line, the outside of the blocker's hands instead of going seam and angle, and I think that can really be a big adjustment for her in this match.
Chang back to Johnson, doing it again.
Exactly, attacking the outside instead of the inside of the block, and it's paying off. Great players make those adjustments, and you know, teams are going to key on a player like Gracie Johnson. They're going to know her tendencies, and they're going to try and make her uncomfortable.
Hey, you have to when she's averaging 4.2 kills per set.
NC State finally running some middle attack. Jada Allen throws one down, cross body. Great pass here. Little cross back.
Just the second kill for Allen out of the middle. And a double contact called on Stavronidis.
Leoniak again at the service line, wreaking havoc on Duke's serve receive.
Beat a set to Bukalic. Johnson was trying to shove it off hands, but missed the block.
Johnson trying to make that adjustment, attack more at that line, just too much turn.
Attacking error, Gracie Johnson.
It all starts for at the service line for NC State. They've made Duke very uncomfortable. All the passers have been pulling the pass way off, and Devon Chang has not been able to run her offense.
4 straight points for NC State. Leoniak continuing to cause chaos for Duke. Touch, point Duke.
Gracie Johnson finally able to get out of that rotation and took a big exhale. I mean, when you're out of system against a huge block 4 times in a row, it's not fun. That one was close, Courtney.
It was close. I saw you signal over there.
I might have.
Yep. Five service errors for Duke, 2 for NC State. It's Priscilla Hernandez's turn. Into the middle, Georgia Stavronidis. McDaniel to the left pin with Brazard. Kerry Keefe, she swings on the left side in this rotation. Bukalic into the net. No, off of the Duke block and out. They're giving the point to NC State.
Bukalic gets her feet to this ball. She's on the way down. Looks like that hit tape.
Yeah, I thought seeing it live, I didn't think it hit the block. I thought it was too low.
Here comes the green card.
But the question is, do we have the challenge system back?
That is a good question. It's possible it got the forearm of Kerry Keefe, but hard to tell on that.
Yeah, that may have been the case too. There just wasn't enough evidence to overturn it.
Great pass again by Nikki Underwood, and then Gracie Johnson finally gets an in-system set and shows you what she can do offensively for Duke.
Holly, update to NC State was not charged for that challenge. We didn't think they were when the challenge system, the actual computer system failed. They're not charged for a challenge. So NC State with 2 challenges remaining, Duke with 1. Ava Broussard, she wanted the touch, she got it. There's some power with that punch.
Ava Broussard working hard for her offense tonight. Duke has a well-formed block in front of her. Ball pushed out to the left pin. There's Keefe, and the defender got it on the way out.
Back to Rachel Richardson. Amanda Rice with the block touch. Keefe, right pin. Chang goes into the middle, Stavrounitas. Back row attack, Leoniak.
Duke on that last play used all their hitters. Good defense too on the tip, cleaning up the middle.
It's a race to 25 points. Duke took the opening set 25-23. There's Rice. Okay, Nikki Underwood. What a save. And then Amanda Rice says,
Amanda Rice returns the favor, the lefty. Just like Kerry Keefe, really nice sharp angle, big seam in this block, and she gets after it for NC State.
Her first kill of the night. And Duke is going to call timeout. Well, with no early game Saturday on the ACC Network, the ACC Huddle crew is going to get you set for the late afternoon games at 3 Eastern. They're going to have a halftime show for the 3:30 game. That's Boston College and Wake Forest. And then a post-game show following. At 6:30, you get a complete wrap-up of the afternoon games, and the crew will get you set for the primetime matchup between Pitt and Louisville at 8, all right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. You know, NC State, we've talked about how they've struggled with inconsistency. The offense has been inconsistent, but the block has been pretty solid today for the Wolfpack.
Really solid, and that's another bonus of having that 6-2 offense. You can have size across the front row, and NC State really making a difference with their defense. Huge blocks on the right side pins, which really slow down the left side attack of Duke.
18 blocks for NC State. Vukolich with 6 and Jada Allen with 6 blocks. I feel like we're starting to get to see a little bit more of their offense peek through, especially in the second set's been totally different for NC State.
Much improved, for sure, but their defense has really sparked their offense, right? Blocking balls, staying in rallies, and their tough serves.
Hitting 205 here in the second set. They hit 108 in set number 1 and had 4 attacking errors. Only 8 kills in set number 1, and they've got 11 here in set number 2. Trying to get to 25 first to even up this match. Ava Broussard serving. Chang going backside to Kerry Keefe. That was a huge up by Broussard. And then the Duke block saying, hey, we can do that too.
NC State finally able to dig Kerry Keefe, but in transition, the Duke block puts it right back.
And Riley Cadle and Rachel Richardson up at the net for Duke, their 3rd team block of the evening. Pretty shot, a great placement by Leoniak.
Leoniak does a really nice job when she doesn't have an opening. She goes that deep line ball, and there's no defense in those two corners.
Richardson flying in, dug up by Cropper. And a free ball back to Duke. For the Blue Devils, you want to kill this. And Rachel Richardson does.
Duke really focused on that first contact, even if it's a dig, and getting a swing out of it. On the other side, NC State is not getting swings. They had to bump that ball over after a good dig. You want to attack that ball, even if it's of somebody out of the back row.
Timing off on the set to Rice, but then it's mishandled by Chang.
Well, two defenders were in the middle of the court, Chang and Underwood, trying to pick that ball up, and that left an opening on that left back position.
Well, NC State now just 2 points away from taking this set.
This rotation for Duke is a tough one. Only two hitters in the front row. Rachel Richardson will shift to the middle and be a back row option.
Johnson with the tip. Hernandez the bump set to Leoniak, attacking error.
That's a break for Duke, getting out of that particular rotation.
Riley Cadle trying to help Duke catch up.
Just missed.
Set point NC State. And this is who you want behind the service line, Martina Leoniak.
Always seems to be her at the most important times.
2 aces today, but has put so much pressure that doesn't show up on the stat sheet on Duke.
Nikki Underwood, the libero for Duke, stepped up and put up a really good set. That's so important when the setter can't get there, that somebody else steps in and puts up a hittable ball.
Second set point, Wolfpack. They give it to Broussard. Off of hands, and NC State has tied up this match.
New life for NC State, and they were sparked by their defense.
NC State hitting 205 in set number 2. We will at least play 4 sets inside Cameron Indoor tonight. Back here, NC State has evened up this match with a 25-22 win in set number 2. So we've got 4 sets at least coming up for you. Speaking of big games in the SEC, take a look at the matches that we have for you. And specifically, you got to circle on Sunday, Louisville and Pitt. This rivalry has just blossomed, and Louisville made a trip to the Final Four last year, and they've reloaded that team.
No, Louisville looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that match.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be able to see that one on Sunday. Courtney Lyle and Holly McPeak back with you. And looking at this NC State team, they really had to refocus after set number 1, specifically offensively. But Leoniak has been so good all the way around for them.
Well, when they were having trouble getting things going, she did it from the service line, but she had 2 aces, got them out of system, added 5 kills, but the block for NC State has been the difference. Look at the serve, getting Duke all sorts of uncomfortable, and then finding open court when she needed to down that line has been her go-to on that left side.
Yeah, Leoniak with 6 kills, 2 service aces, 3 digs, and then Rachel Richardson has been tough too. Just 1 attacking error. She's got 7 kills and 10 digs.
She's been dynamic out of the backcourt. We saw her take a few good swings, and then on that left side, finding the deep corner. She's a little bit undersized, but she is dynamic and finds a way to score for Duke.
Biggest difference for Duke in that second set, Holly, was it the passing or was it something else?
Well, I felt like the block for NC State just took their offense away from them, and that was the advantage. It was a small advantage, but it was the difference.
8 blocks for NC State, and we're just through 2 sets. Their season high, by the way, is 16 against Arkansas earlier this year. NC State, they're hitting 160 for the match, but in that second set, they hit 205, so.
Numbers definitely improving.
We'll see if they can keep that going, though. This consistency has been tough for NC State. With 11 new players, it's going to be. It's a lot of change. NC State has won the last 2 meetings against Duke. State off to its best conference start since the 2017 season when they went 8-1. They're 5-3 in ACC play. Meanwhile, Duke 2-6. And Duke starts off with a service error by Gracie Johnson. Martina Leoniak, this serve has been a problem for Duke. And it's a problem again. Out of system swing for Richardson. Hernandez underneath it. Ava Brizard. Brizard take 2, it was touched.
NC State, I like the defense in the backcourt, and then Brizard finishing it off. Good high hands. Leoniak playing some defense in the backcourt as well.
Eva Brizard with her 8th kill, 4 digs and a block. Richardson with the bump set to Gracie Johnson in the back row. Bukalic from the right side. Off the bump set from her libero, Priscilla Hernandez.
Hernandez gave her a really nice set. Bukalic at 6'6" has the range to hit this sharp angle. Good feet to the ball, high contact point, and then the sharp angle kill by NC State's Bukalic.
The tough serves keep coming from Leoniak. Point NC State, and they're out to a 4-point lead.
Leoniak, the ball is rising late, and the Duke players are not getting out their platform early enough to cut it off and pass it forward.
Richardson into the net. You call a timeout here, Holly?
I do. You don't want a team to get down by that much this soon.
Duke will play on. No timeout called by Jolene Nagel. This is how NC State started off set number 2. They were rocking on the serve. Kerry Keefe. There you go, tooling the block.
Coach knew better than me. She's been here before. But, I mean, obviously you're confident when Kerry Keefe's in the front row, but it was the passing that was really breaking down for Duke. That ball just wide. Duke able to score a point.
Error from Brizard, but you see the power that she carries, even at 6'1", an undersized outside hitter. Bukalic from the right pin down the line, aiming at Nikki Underwood.
NC State really looking for more offense from Bukalic, and I think she is delivering tonight.
And Bukalic with 6 kills. Coming off 14 in that 5-set match they played against Boston College on Sunday. Devon Chang going back to Kerry Keefe.
Kerry Keefe is the answer on that right pin for Duke, but Leoniak for NC State in the backcourt really making some nice defensive reads.
Unfortunately for Duke, Kerry Keefe rotates out. 8 kills, no attacking errors, hitting .571. Now just 2 hitters for Duke in the front row. Underwood sends it right back over. Broussard tries to take a swing. Chang to Richardson. The bump set from McDaniel to Broussard. Oh, Devon Chang!
It's so crucial to give that free ball pass to your setter tight to the net, especially when she's front row. No blocker is on her, and she takes advantage of it. You have to be aware of when the setter's front row.
Chang's gonna give it to the back row attack of Johnson, and Lily Cropper at the net waiting.
NC State really set that play up by tipping the middle, and Rachel Richardson had to come all the way over, which took her out of the offensive transition possibilities.
The 9th team block tonight for NC State. Naomi Cabello in to serve and set for the Wolfpack. Right up by Leoniak. Swing is long, attacking error for Broussard.
Leoniak, number 14 in black, is just patrolling the back line. I've seen her make moves side to side. I'm really impressed with her.
Cabello to the right pin with Amanda Rice and gets it in the block.
I don't know if you saw where Amanda Rice started from. She started from left front, ran around all the players all the way to get an approach. That's not an easy route to run.
She got some frequent flyer miles on that trip.
She certainly did. Watch, she has to run all the way around all the players. I never had my left side players do that. I'd either scoop my stack to the other side or just run her on the left side.
That went off the platform of Naomi Cabello. Overpass. Stavridis trying to eat it up. Here comes Gracie Johnson. Off of the block.
Crazy one-arm stab dig by Stavridis, and Gracie Johnson able to transition that ball on that left side. She's having a hard night. I mean, they're keen on her.
Yeah, she's just coming out of the negative hitting percentage with 12 kills now, 12 errors.
Leoniak, her go-to is that line kill, and if you're Duke, you have to shift your defense that direction. You need to make an adjustment there. How about Gracie Johnson working out of system pass, inside, off the net, and finding a way to put it away for Duke.
This is
bump set way off, little bit inside, and she's able to find a good spot on the court with pace.
This is a player for Duke that has played since her freshman year. 6th rotation outside hitter, very experienced, and she has just not cracked tonight, even though she's had some tough swings.
That ball set a little bit low in the middle. Stavridis is long. You want to get that ball high enough so she can get on top of it.
Kristen McDaniel back in as the setter for NC State. Underwood handles that beautifully, and they can go to Johnson on the right side. Keefe on the left pin. Bukulic. Chang calls on Keefe. And some traffic, they had to bump set it over. Sets up the swing from the right side by Gracie Johnson. I thought Rachel Richardson was about to jump out of the gym.
There may or may not have been some crawling around on the NC State side of the net, and Duke takes advantage going to that right side once they recovered.
And then the block.
Rachel Richardson, huge block on the left side. She got her left hand over, turned it back into the court on Leoniak.
That ties it at 10. Remember, NC State started this match on a 5-0 run. This set, excuse me. Bukalic. Sharp angle.
Just a little off-speed, ball drops, taking a little heat off of it. Guess who's on the back line?
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Leoniak. Jolene Nagel is talking to the Duke is going to get the point, and I'm not sure where in the rally they were challenging, but they overturned this call.
Let's try and read some lips. Luca said that's a bad call, if I'm reading lips correctly. Other than that, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure what specifically they were, where in that rally they were looking, but they follow it up with an ace from Gracie Johnson. And now NC State is going to have to call a timeout. 4 straight points for the Duke Blue Devils here in set number 3. NC State forced to call a timeout as Duke has scored 4 straight points here in set number 3. Courtney Lyle and Holly McPeak with you from Cameron Indoor. NC State struggled in set number 1, but they've been climbing back since then. One-handed set from Kristen McDaniel.
Love that jump set, one hand, and then running that middle attack to Jada Allen.
Devon Chang going backside to Kerry Keefe. There she is.
Duke very confident in their opposite attack. That ball set a little bit wide, but Kerry Keefe gets there. Look at that ball go past her left shoulder, but good footwork to get outside that ball and crank it back.
And another ace for Duke, this time Nikki Underwood.
When Leoniak is in the serve receive, they are going after her down that line.
Going right back over to NC State. McDaniel to the middle. Duke ready for it. Hello, Riley Cadle.
Riley Cadle does a really nice job one-on-one. Her eye work in the middle. Watching this ball, she doesn't have to move. It's just a one set. Good read of the attacker.
And the momentum has shifted over to Duke. NC State calling a timeout. Duke up 15-11 here in set number 3. Well, here is our Week 8 college football lineup for Saturday on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Number 13, Wake Forest hosting Boston College. That's at 3:30 Eastern. Then at 8 Eastern, the day capped off our ACC Network prime time matchup. Pitt taking on Louisville. You know, we got to spend a lot of time with both of these teams, but Duke, it was so much fun to go to their practice early this morning. And talking to Jolene Nagel, 24th season as Duke's head coach, and this year, started last year actually, they came up with the pillars of the program, and these are things that they live by every day: purpose, courage, respect, commitment, and pride. And this isn't just something they put up in the locker room. Actually, after every practice, they recognize a player who came with these pillars and represented all of them.
I think one of the most important aspects of building a culture in your volleyball program is something like this: having pillars, having things that you believe in, and then checking back to make sure you're following those pillars. So I like what Duke is doing, and the fact that the players are all in and building this culture with those strong pillars, they're going to go a long way.
And I got the chance to talk to Lizzie Fleming, one of the middle blockers. She's a captain. She's out with an injury right now, and she was telling me about this team. She said, this is probably my favorite team, this group of girls that we have. I never dread coming to practice. I love being around this group, and they're also extremely competitive. So, Holly, I think you would like them too.
I would love them. But, you know, not all teams are like that. There's cliques, there's, disagreements, but you want to build a culture where you know that you're all in with your teammates fighting for the same purpose day in and day out.
Great response by NC State out of the timeout. Ava Brizard putting the ball on the floor. That ends a 3-0 scoring run by Duke. Into the middle, Cadle. It sends NC State scrambling. This is going to be a free ball back to the Blue Devils. Keefe, too wide.
Keefe was perfect early in this match. That's her first error of the match.
Wow, and it comes in set 3. Took a minute. They let her go again. Other pin with Rachel Richardson. Great placement.
That's just a smart volleyball shot. She was inside. The defense creeped in for that tip in the middle, and then she throws it deep line over the defender's head.
Cropper.
I think that set needs to be a little bit higher. Lily Cropper at 6'3" has the range to attack that ball over the net. The set just needs to be higher.
This is just her 15th set she's played in this season. She's had to step in due to injury. Riley Chalk is not available, did not make the trip.
Bukovic that time high off the hands. Adding some nice offense along with her defense for NC State tonight.
I'd say so. 8 kills, 7 blocks for Vanya Bukovic. Chang, it was a little tight for Cadle. Ava Brizard. Ooh, she's got some pop.
Ava Brizard heating up and in transition, able to score. Working her way back into this match for NC State.
Lucas Slave told us she never quits. She just goes out there and grinds, and he says, look, even if she struggles, it's going to take a lot for me to take her off of the floor. She needs to learn.
You learn, right? You learn when you're outside your comfort zone, and When a team's serving you, when you're a freshman in college, everything's new, you're uncomfortable. And he wants her to learn and grow with this experience.
Service error by Naomi Cabello. Duke took set number 1, 25-23. NC State able to respond with a win in set 2, 25-22. And that was long on the attack from Amanda Rice.
This is the rotation where number 17 in black does the full sprint around the court to put herself in an offensive position. It's not an easy route to run.
There she goes all the way around. Bump set to Broussard. Devon Chang pushing it out to Gracie Johnson.
Gracie Johnson turning her game on, finding ways, that time down the line. Her blocker had come all the way across the court, and that's just a high, deep shot, not trying to hit the ball straight down, but good location.
Gracie Johnson graduated high school 1 year early, studied abroad and played club ball in Italy before joining in January before her freshman season with the Duke program.
And her coach gave her so much credit for being resourceful. She found ways to play. She found ways to come to Duke early. She joined in January, and she worked that all out on her own.
And that was a while ago now. That was before her freshman year. She's now a senior, but just shows you the type of woman she is. Been a key piece for Duke her whole career. Here she goes again. Felt that one up here in the rafters.
Offensively, Duke hitting 147 in this set compared to NC State's .067. Those are pretty low numbers, but we have to credit the defense. Both teams putting each other in some uncomfortable positions.
New attacker in the game for NC State. It's Madison Williams, number right in the black jersey. She's come in on the left pin.
NC State actually has a bunch of impact transfers. You see Madison Williams and also setter Naomi Cabello.
Yeah, Cabello and Williams coming from Texas. Richardson back row. Cabello is going to set up Leoniak. Johnson readjusting. Leoniak a little too far turning it.
She likes that line, and that time defense for Duke set up on the line.
Eliza Villar just checked in for NC State, number 31 in black. Sydney Yap with a great up! And then it's Devon Chang giving Duke set point.
Those are the types of digs that make a difference in the set, and then your team is able to make a play and score. Just scoops under this ball, and then this overpass, Devon Chang alone at the net for Duke.
Duke has really adjusted here in this set after NC State started out on a 5-0 run, and we may have a challenge here. We will from NC State.
Looked like he was challenging that there was a net violation at the net. Either way, he wants to stop the momentum for Duke.
And NC State doesn't have any timeouts, so this is also a good chance for them to regroup. And so NC State is saying that Duke was in the net on that last rally.
Doesn't look look like a net violation there. And then Devon Chang alone at the net. Unless it was earlier in that play, I did not see a net violation.
So the point stays with Duke. NC State will be down to 1 challenge. Unless we go to a 5th set, then each team will get an additional challenge. This is the largest lead right now for either team tonight. Duke up 24-17, set point. And the block gives it to Duke. Gracie Johnson, boom!
Exclamation point at the end of that set for Duke, and significant difference in points. Finally, they were able to separate themselves 2-1, Duke over NC State.
Duke leading this match 2-0. NC State has won the last 2 meetings with the Blue Devils. Gracie Johnson, it has been a tough night for her, but she has not given up, and she was much better in set number 3.
I agree, she's found a way, and in system, she took some big swings on the right side. We see her after the dig, able to score, come inside. You know, they were blocking her a lot early on, and she's made some adjustments. She's one of the best servers in the country. Ranks 1st in the conference. She's 16 kills tonight already.
Yeah, 2nd in the conference when it comes to kills per set at 4.2. Now she's only hitting .067 in this match, but saw her take some strides in that 3rd set, excuse me.
She's got 6 digs, 3 blocks. She brings an all-around game. It's not just about kills. So when your kills are down, you do the other little things that matter most to your team.
It was interesting to watch Duke in set number 3. Remember, NC State started out on a 5-point run, and then what was the biggest change you saw for Duke?
I felt like they made some adjustments with their offense. They stopped hitting that low seam ball going wide down the line. Just overall, they served better. I mean, an overall effort was the difference.
So this will be a must-win set for NC State. Wolfpack trying to force a 5th set. Meanwhile, a Duke win here, and they win the match. And Wolfpack start with a service error by Eliza Villar. Trade service errors. Johnson attacking error, 3 blockers in front of her, but it goes into the net.
NC State able to get Duke out of system. That set was way off the net, and it was a non-setter setting.
Kerry, Keefe.
Such a bright future right there for number 11 in white.
That gets her in double figures with 10 kills, hitting .450. Wow, a lot of errors in different places already early in set 4.
Both teams want to be aggressive from the service line, but you can't have that many errors to start. Keep it in the court and let your team play defense.
Devon Chang back to Keefe. Oh, what a layout by Hernandez. She kept it alive. Chang will try Keefe again. There you go. Kerry Keefe with kill number 11.
The location of that set by Devon Chang, number 10 in white for Duke, was perfect, and Kerry Keefe knows what to do with it. Huge gap, the middle blocker cheated the other way, and that left an opportunity for Keefe to go hard angle.
It's Gracie Johnson with 16 kills, and then Kerry Keefe with 11 to lead Duke right now. And Ava Broussard is leading her NC State Wolfpack. That's 11 for her.
Finding ways to get a kill when everything is a little bit rough. She had a slow start, but that time off the inside hands of the block.
And those are both the players, Kerry Keefe and Ava Broussard, that we talked about to start this match. Young freshmen that have had to step up due to injuries, and you've seen the talent that they have.
If you're NC State, you can't let that happen. Devon Chang in the front row. You have to make sure to block her as a front row attacker. Devon Chang, maybe the best part of her game is her defense at the net blocking, you know, aside from her setting, because that's pretty darn good too. But I think it's surprising. Setters usually get attacked as blockers at the net, but she really holds her own.
Yeah, coming off 7 blocks in their last match. That's Madison Williams on the outside for NC State, number 1 in black. We saw her for the first time late in the last set.
I'm a little surprised for NC State that they took Martina Leoniak out. She was having the best match so far with aces and lots of good digs. A little bit surprised there.
Yeah, 7 kills for Leoniak, but hitting 125, so a lower percentage. But yeah, her serve has caused Duke all kinds of problems. Roll shot from Gracie Johnson.
2 off-speed shots in a row for Gracie Johnson over the NC State block, and they can't handle it.
And timeout called by NC State. Duke up by 3, but it's a must-win set for the Wolfpack. 4 straight points for this Duke Blue Devils team. If they win this set, they win the match. Interesting numbers for Duke. If they hit over 200, 200 or better, they're undefeated. When hitting less than 200, they're 1-8, and right now they're at 211.
And in this particular set, as a team, they're hitting 571.
Chang running the slide with Riley Cadle.
Riley Cadle is working hard to get her feet under her, but good hard swing off the block for number 6 in white.
I feel like the timing's getting better on that slide. Service error. Gracie Johnson off the block. Devon Chang sets her again. She knows her so well. That's kill number 19.
Love the pace on that attack. Defense there, but can't control it, and Duke continuing to roll offensively.
Going after Madison Williams, who's been inserted late for NC State, and it pays off. She's number 1 in black. We saw her for the first time in this match in the last set.
Teams are always going to test somebody who comes off the bench.
Amanda Rice, one of the most powerful swings we've seen out of number 17 in black.
She doesn't get a lot of sets, but heavy arm. That lefty on the right side, again, we saw it for Duke. That lefty attacking on the right side is very successful, and they can hit with lots of range.
And that gets NC State up from hitting 0 in this set to 167, but that's tough to compete with a Duke team that's hitting 600 in the set. An ace will help.
NC State attacking the seams between the 2 players, and if players aren't being definitive with their calls, now Duke has 4 passers across They need to make sure they're communicating.
Stavridis, a little off balance off of one foot. McDaniel using the back row attack with Eva Broussard.
The benefit of having an attacker out of the back row gives you another option in transition, attacking right back. Good kill by NC State.
Devon Chang is going to use her back row attack with Rachel Richardson. Bukulic. And Duke can't get it back over. Too much power from Vanya Bukulic. That's number 9 for her.
Both Sydney Yep and Devon Chang pursued that ball, and then nobody in a good position to get it over.
Down the line, we saw her figure out that adjustment. That's what you were talking about, Holly.
Yeah, she's figured it out. They're giving her line and taking away the angle, and she's made that adjustment. But that time, Rachel Richardson just perfected the pass, and when she does that, Gracie Johnson is in system, and she's more successful hitting for a higher clip.
7th match this season with 20 or more kills. She's now done it 3 straight matches in a row. Williams had to try to hunt that down, but the Duke block, ready to rock.
Blocking on both sides, first the left and now the right. Gracie Johnson and Georgia Stavridis, beautiful Duke block.
Bukulic through the block.
Bukulic high and flat, pays off for NC State. NC State needs to find a way. Earlier in this match, the way they scored was with tough serving and a big block.
Yeah, they've got 10 blocks. But you know, making that substitution, like we said, with Madison Williams coming in, that takes one of your toughest servers off the court in Leoniak. Keefe will get a second chance. She got it. Kerry Keefe.
Kerry Keefe worked to get her feet around that ball so she could hit with range. A lot of teams aren't used to seeing a left-handed attacker on the left side of the court.
Oh, the McPeak call was in.
The McPeak call pointed that ball in.
That one was out. Confirmed by McPeak.
Yep. I have my own review system going up here.
Slave talking with the down official right now. He does have one challenge, so does Duke. If we go to a 5th set, each team will get an additional challenge. Proper timing, just a little off with that middle, and here comes Kerry Keefe.
If NC State doesn't get a good clean swing, Duke's gonna attack right back, especially when Kerry Keefe's on the court for Duke.
McDaniel going to Broussard. So it's freshman after freshman getting the kills right now.
Players, young players stepping up in big roles for each team. It's fun to see.
What do you think about Eva Broussard tonight, now that we've seen her now in 4 sets in?
I think she's worked her way back into this match after a rough start, and she's doing a good job.
It's says a lot for a freshman, too. She was targeted early in serve receive and struggled to pass, but kept grinding. Cabello's going to set her. Whoa! Wow.
Lots of heat from the left side pin. Two-time Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year, showing you why. Number 7 in black, Ava Brizard on that left pin. One blocker in front of her, lots of heat. Nikki Underwood there just couldn't control it.
Thinking Devon Chang is going to go to her freshman, and that is why. It has been rare attacking errors. Just the second one tonight for Kerry Keefe.
NC State moved their block way inside to take her angle away and force Kerry Keefe to go line.
Richardson, okay, off that block. That gives Richardson 9 kills.
And credit Devon Chang, that pass was tight. She got there, jump set, and isolated Rachel Richardson out on that pin by herself.
I mean, just tonight, speaking of Devon Chang, you see everything that she does with her block, with her setting, her decision-making. I mean, what an impact player for Duke.
And she's so calm. I feel like, you know, with all these young players in new positions, she just keeps everything calm out there. Sweet set, and Cadle finding her rhythm. Good quick arm, attacking back on that ball. Looks like she had some seam to work with. Middle blocker took a step right, and then lots of seam.
And NC State's going to call a timeout. Well, Sunday best. This week, what a field hockey doubleheader we have for you. Number 19, Rutgers, taking on number 12, Syracuse at noon Eastern. That's followed by St. Joseph's and North Carolina, both right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. We've been calling the names of freshmen a lot. We talked about these two at the start of the match. We knew they would have an impact, and they have. Ava Brizard is one of those, and she hasn't let any adversity affect her in this match. She just kept going.
And that's part of what her coach wanted her to do, figure it out. She's got 14 kills. They haven't been easy kills, but she's been lighting up recently, figuring out a way to go high off the hands when they're digging or blocking her. And then she's even had some really hard inside the block moves as well, and playing good defense in the backcourt too.
And then her fellow freshman, but on the other side for Duke, Kerry Keefe, picking up where she left off with her career-high 21 kills on Sunday. She's got 13 tonight.
Kerry Keefe is only playing 3 rotations right now, but 13 kills, an instant offense for Duke. Very low error attacker and a favorite of Devon Chang to set, especially in transition. Lots of confidence in her freshman attacker.
We get to see them now. I can't imagine in 2 or 3 years where their games are going to be. What a great place to start.
Good impact already, and their futures are both very bright.
Both will be needed in set number 4. NC State has to win this set in order to extend the match. A Duke win, and we're moving on.
Brizard again, flat off the hands of the block, and that takes it over the defender in middle back's head. It's a tough ball to come up with. That's not an easy ball to hit either.
Yeah, her coach, Lucas Slave, told us, you know, she's undersized. She's going to have to be crafty. I was undersized too. I know exactly what she's going through.
Me too. Rachel Richardson again. I feel like she's been getting better as this match goes on as well.
Yeah, she's in double figures now.
Pretty good pass, attacking that seam, and Cropper, the middle blocker for NC State, late closing those blocks, and that's one of the areas where her coach wants to see her improve.
Madison Williams finding the hardwood for the first time tonight. She's taken the spot of Martina Leoniak. Kind of surprised to see that change, and they've stuck with it. Just because Leoniak was impacting the game on all different levels with her serve, with her dig, with her block. Amanda Rice pulls NC State within one.
Every time we see Amanda Rice get a nice swing, we're impressed with her power. Love to see her more involved in the offense.
Overpass. She tips down the line. Chang to Gracie Johnson. Give her 21 kills.
If you notice, Chang's got all her options in transition. Middle's there, holds the blocker, and that just gives that pin hitter a little more space to attack.
Outside the antenna, point Duke.
Duke right now targeting #1 in black. There's a lot of traffic over there too.
And they're going after Madison Williams. Ooh, that one grazes the tape. It's going to be a point Duke as the setter is back row.
You cannot jump and attack the ball or set it over from off the ground if you are in the back row.
Sydney Yap got under that ball, kept it alive. There's the hand set from Hernandez to Rice. Free ball to the Blue Devils. Down that line, Gracie!
NC State playing behind in every play, and Duke playing the aggressor, and it pays off when they get a big transition swing there by Gracie.
4 straight points for Duke. Wow, great looking swing from Madison Williams.
Yeah, finally she gets to hit a ball in system. Good sharp angle, gets a piece of the block right inside the defense.
Coming off a 1 foot, Georgia Stavronidis. Oh, Avery Broussard, the hustle. Johnson with a tip. Jada Allen keeps it up. No, excuse me, Madison Williams.
Great dig by Madison Williams. Came all the way over from left front to dig that tip over the block, but there's a double contact on the transition set.
Match point Duke.
Right idea by NC State to get that ball to their middle attacker on a perfect pass, but error.
Devon Chang serving for the match. McDaniel going back to Booker. And it is blocked. A Duke block ends the match.
To end the match, Georgia Stavronidis and Kerry Keefe shut it down. Big defensive effort to end this match, and their offensive numbers went way up for Duke. They continued to get better as the match progressed.
Yeah, finished hitting 382 in that final set, and that ends a 2-game losing streak to NC State. They had lost the last 2 meetings.
I think it was a big move for Duke to kind of grow through some uncomfortable situations, and you see them get better as the match goes on. Good freshman contribution too.
Yeah, Kerry Keefe is that freshman. 13 kills for her, hit .393, but Duke led by Gracie Johnson with 22 kills, 3 straight matches in a row that Gracie has had 20 or more kills, and she helps Duke get the win in 4 sets over NC State.